It is just past 2 in the morning. The neighborhood is dark. The streets are quiet. Most of Tucson is asleep. And then the doorbell rings. A figure appears on the camera, masked, gloved, armed. Standing at the front door of a home in the Catalina Foothills, a quiet, affluent neighborhood, tucked into the northern edge of the Sonoran Desert. 16 minutes pass. At 2:28 in the morning, a medical device inside that home goes silent. A pacemaker monitor, the kind that tracks a heartbeat, round the clock, and reports it automatically to a medical system. It has been transmitting steadily for years. And then it stops. The woman who lives here is 84 years old. Her name is Nancy Guthrie. She is someone's mother, someone's grandmother. A woman described by those who love her as vibrant, sharp, and fiercely independent. As of today, Nancy Guthrie has not been found. This is what we know. This is what we don't. And this is why it matters. To understand what happened on the night of February 1st, you need to understand who Nancy Guthrie is. Nancy is 84 years old. She lives in the Catalina Foothills area of Tucson, Arizona, a community known for its desert views, its winding roads, and its sense of remove from the city below. It is not an anonymous neighborhood. It is the kind of place where people know one another, where homes are set back from the road, where quiet is expected and generally kept. Nancy is not someone who fades into the background. By all accounts from people who know her, she is engaged, spirited, and fully present in her life. She raised a family. She built a life. She is, in the truest sense, still very much living it. One of her daughters is Savannah Guthrie, a name many of you will recognize. Savannah is the co-anchor of NBC's Today Show, one of the most watched morning programs in American television. She is a public figure with millions of viewers. But in this story, she is first and foremost a daughter. In the days that followed her mother's disappearance, Savannah would step in front of cameras not as a journalist, but as a grieving family member. Her plea was simple and direct. She asked anyone with information to come forward. She spoke about her mother with love and with urgency. She said her family was holding on. Nancy also has a son-in-law named Tommaso Cioni, Savannah's husband. He plays a quiet but important role in the final hours of the last confirmed sighting. Let's walk back to that. January 31st, a Sunday evening in Tucson. The temperature at night would have been cool, as it typically is in the desert this time of year. The kind of night where the stars are bright, and the air has a chill to it. At approximately 9:50 in the evening, Tommaso Cioni drops Nancy off at her Catalina Foothills home. He watches her go in. Everything appears normal. There is no indication that anything is wrong. This is a routine moment, an ordinary goodbye. That is the last confirmed sighting of Nancy Guthrie. Tommaso Cioni has been cleared by investigators. He is not a suspect. He cooperated fully, and law enforcement has moved on from any scrutiny of that evening's circumstances as they relate to him. The hours that follow are unknown. We do not know what Nancy did after she went inside. We do not know when she went to sleep, or whether she slept at all. We do not know if she received any calls. We do not know if she was aware that anything was coming. What we do know is that sometime in the deep hours of the following morning, everything changed. Friday, February 1st. It is 2:12 in the morning. A doorbell camera, the kind that millions of American homes now have mounted by their front doors, captures something. A figure standing at Nancy Guthrie's front door. The figure is masked, fully masked, gloves on both hands, armed. This is not a neighbor. This is not a delivery driver who lost track of time. This is someone who came prepared specifically not to be identified. The footage is striking. It is the kind of image that, once you've seen it, you don't forget. A masked figure, standing at a door, in the middle of the night, in a quiet residential neighborhood. 16 minutes later, At 2:28 in the morning, Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker monitor transmits its last known signal. Think about what that 16-minute window means. Something happened in those 16 minutes. Something that caused a medical device to go silent. A device designed to monitor a human heartbeat continuously and report it to a system. When those signals stop, it means one of a limited number of things. The device was removed, the person moved out of range of the monitor, or something happened to disrupt the connection. Investigators have not publicly stated what they believe caused the signal to stop. But that timestamp, 2:28 a.m., has become one of the central facts of this case. The next morning, on February 2nd, something is discovered at Nancy's home. Blood on the front porch. The presence of blood on the porch of a home where an elderly woman now cannot be reached sets off what will become one of the most high-profile missing persons investigations in recent Arizona history. DNA testing begins immediately. On February 5th, the results come back. The blood on Nancy Guthrie's front porch belongs to Nancy Guthrie. A full press conference is held that day. The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office stand together and present what they know. The case is now official and federal. For her family, the DNA confirmation is devastating. For investigators, it is evidence. For the public, it is the moment this story becomes impossible to look away from. There is still no sign of Nancy. No phone call. No note. No trace beyond what the doorbell camera recorded and what was left on that porch. But within 24 hours of discovery, that was about to change. On the evening of February 2nd, the same day the blood is found, a ransom email arrives. It is sent to KOLD, the CBS affiliate television station in Tucson. The email demands payment in Bitcoin. It includes a Bitcoin wallet address. The sender claims it is connected to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Let that sit for a moment. A ransom demand, sent not to the family, not to the FBI, to a local TV station. The FBI is notified immediately. They take the communication seriously, begin analyzing it, and begin tracking the Bitcoin wallet address that was included in the message. The family makes clear they want Nancy home. The investigation intensifies. On February 9th, the FBI publicly confirms that they have received no further communications from the person or persons responsible for Nancy's disappearance. The ransom email to KOLD remains the only communication tied to this case, and it came from someone whose identity is still unknown. 1 week later, something happens that briefly creates confusion in the media and among the public. On February 12th, a man in California is arrested in connection with a ransom note related to the Nancy Guthrie case. Here is what you need to understand clearly. This man did not write the original ransom email. He is not the person responsible for Nancy's disappearance. He wrote a separate fake note, his own fabrication, and was arrested for that act. Investigators were explicit. His note was not authentic. It was not from the actual abductor. The real ransom communication, the email sent to KOLD on February 2nd, came from someone else entirely. That person has not been identified. That person has not been arrested. The real demand, and the real person behind it, remain unknown. The California arrest closed one thread. The main thread remained wide open. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin wallet address included in the original ransom email showed activity. On February 11th, just over a week after Nancy disappeared, new transactions appeared on that wallet. This is a detail that investigators noted publicly. What it means in terms of the investigation has not been fully disclosed. Bitcoin wallets can be moved, split, or transferred in ways designed to obscure their trail. Whether investigators have been able to follow that trail is not publicly known. What is clear is this. Someone sent a ransom email. Someone included a Bitcoin address, and that address showed signs of activity. The deadline in that original email passed without any public resolution. Nancy was not returned. No one claimed responsibility. The investigation pressed on. The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office have been working this case together from the beginning. It is a federal kidnapping investigation, with local law enforcement deeply involved at every level. In the weeks following Nancy's disappearance, evidence continues to surface, carefully, quietly, in the way that forensic work tends to happen. On February 17th, investigators announce a significant forensic finding. DNA recovered from a glove found near Nancy's home. The glove is believed to be connected to the case. The DNA from that glove was processed and run against law enforcement databases. No match was found. This is both a dead end and a data point. Whoever left that glove is either not in any criminal DNA database or provided a sample that didn't generate a hit. It doesn't mean investigators can't use the DNA later. It means they haven't connected it to a known individual yet. And then, on February 24th, comes what may be the most significant revelation of the entire investigation. This was not a crime of opportunity. A criminal who happened to drive past a lit window, who improvised in the moment. This was someone who had been watching, someone who had been planning, someone who knew where Nancy lived, knew her home, and chose to return. The release of this footage represents a turning point in how investigators and the public understand the nature of this crime. This was premeditated. This was targeted. Nancy Guthrie was specifically chosen. Also on February 24th, the Guthrie family announces a $1 million reward for information leading to Nancy's safe return. The FBI, which had already offered a reward of $50,000 and then doubled it to $100,000, continues to maintain that offer. Combined, the total reward exceeds $1 million. $1 million. For information, for a tip, for anything that leads investigators to Nancy. This is a family that is doing everything within their power to bring her home. The weeks after that announcement bring no breakthrough, at least not one that has been made public. The investigation continues. The case file grows. Investigators follow every lead they receive. And yet, as of today, no arrest has been made. No suspect has been publicly named, and Nancy Guthrie has not been found. So where does that leave us? As of March 13th, 2026, this is what investigators have confirmed. A masked, armed, gloved figure appeared at Nancy Guthrie's door at 2:12 in the morning on February 1st. Her pacemaker monitor went silent 16 minutes later. Blood confirmed as hers was found on her front porch. A ransom email was sent to a Tucson TV station. A glove with unmatched DNA was found near her home. And prior surveillance footage proves this was planned. What they have not confirmed, what remains unknown, is this. Where is Nancy Guthrie right now? Who is responsible for her disappearance? Whether the ransom demand is genuine, and whether the person behind it still intends to negotiate. Why Nancy was targeted. What the motive is. Whether this was financially motivated, personally motivated, or something else entirely. Those are not rhetorical questions. Those are the open questions of an active federal investigation. Questions that the FBI is working to answer every single day. Nancy's family has spoken about her with a consistency that is hard to ignore. She is vibrant. She is resilient. She is, in the words of those who love her, the kind of person who does not give up. Savannah Guthrie stood in front of cameras and said something that stayed with many people who heard it. She asked anyone who knew anything, anyone at all, to come forward. She said her family was not giving up. She said they were holding on to hope. Hope, in a case like this, is not passive. It is a decision. A decision made every morning by a family that does not know where their mother is, but refuses to stop looking. The FBI believes someone out there has information. Law enforcement believes the public can help close this case. After all, whoever did this did not operate in total isolation. They drove to that neighborhood. They likely spoke to someone. They may have told someone. They may have been seen. Every case like this has a weak point. Every carefully planned crime has a moment where the planner made a mistake, talked too much, trusted the wrong person. Investigators are counting on that. You might be the one who has the piece they're missing. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. She's someone's mother, someone's grandmother, and she is still missing. If you have any information about her disappearance, anything at all, no matter how small it seems, the FBI wants to hear from you. The tip line is 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-225-5324. You can also submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. The reward for information leading to Nancy's safe return stands at over $1.1 million. $1.1 million. If you found this episode helpful, if you believe this story deserves to be heard by more people, please share it. Leave a comment. Every view, every share, every conversation keeps Nancy's name alive and keeps pressure on this case. We will update this episode as new information becomes available. We are not done covering this story. Nancy Guthrie is not forgotten. I'm Carson Morgan. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this.